Limitless Journey podcast is a project that is dedicated to sharing the stories of young people who are challenging the status quo and positively impacting their communities with the sole purpose of motivating others to take action and to live their best lives. My name is Success Yule Areveso. And in this episode, I had an amazing conversation with Erioluwa Adeyinka, in which he discussed the challenges he encountered as a university student while also balancing his responsibilities as a change maker. Currently, he is the global community organizer at YouthxYouth, where he helps young people develop, grow, and launch their ideas. Why is community building so important? YouthxYouth is a global community of youth activists and adult allies dedicated to the reimagination and transformation of education. As the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonades. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of our conversation. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone, and you're super welcome to another episode of my podcast. And on today's episode, I have a very interesting guest to me, my friend Erioluwa Adeyinka, and we'll be discussing, so many interesting topics or so many interesting things that you definitely need to know as a young person. And I've known Erioluwa for like almost 2 years. And I must say, I'm very, very grateful for how far you supported my journey and, seeing you implement most of your projects and seeing them grow. So Erioluwa is a community organizer. He's interested in business and development. Like he has done like a whole lot and everything. So without further ado, I don't want to give you guys the gist. I want him to use his mouth to introduce himself. So without further ado, I would like us to welcome our guest for today, Erioluwa Adeyinka.
I knew.
So Erioluwa,
So
you're welcome. How are you doing?
I'm actually fine. I'm good. I mean, it's so good to be here. At least finally, you can see it's coming to realization, and I'm so happy to be here. I
Okay.
mean, that whole introduction was really energetic. It made me feel like I was a president or something.
Are you not the president?
And
So like
worry.
you've done like a lot from recently. I know that you are working with Youth by Youth, which is also a community I'm part of, being the community organizer, and then you recently graduated from Unilag. So many background details and so many connecting dots. So I would like you to let us know more about you, like give us a little bit about your background and everything.
All right, so like you introduced earlier, my name is Erioluwa Adeyinka. So I'm Nigerian, at least for now.
Yeah, are you planning to leave this country?
I don't know, but at least I'm Nigerian for now. Yeah. So I was born and I grew up in Ibadan. That's in Oyo State, Southwest Nigeria. Grew up in a family of three, and and still I've been like a lover for education. I love knowledge. I'm the person that wants to read books about why things are that way. So I think I've always been like a sucker for education and for helping people. I think my fondest memories of growing up would be supporting people with their like assignments, teaching people things they don't know. And I think that has just really metamorphosed into what I do today. I mean, in my role at Youth as a global community organizer, still supporting people and sharing them things they might not be paying attention to. So I don't think, so I just think it has just been a journey, per phase, teaching people who don't have access to education, providing literacy skills, jumping on projects. So most of the things that I do just provide clarity and just make life better for other people. So I guess that's like a little background of who I.
I was like, it's so interesting to hear and then know about how you started um, advocating for quality education and how far you've come and everything. So inspiring. Growing up in Ibadan, wow. actually grew up in Lagos, so I know that the experiences will actually like be very, very different for you as well. So would you say that kind of like shaped you into the kind of person you are now, or
Yeah.
the influence was not that much?
No, I think it really shaped me. I mean, like many of the things I learned about leadership, community and family, really started from where I grew up. I grew up in a community where everybody cared about you, kind of like people were watching for you, like after you. Like when I got to Lagos and I saw that it was like a no man's land, like nobody cares about you. Even your neighbors don't care about you, you know. So, but like growing up in Ibadan was a little like was a little different. I learned like the importance of community, so I mean, if people don't see you go to, maybe if you pass a particular route to school every morning and you don't go that particular day, if you're going the next day, someone who sees you every morning that you do it, would say, hey, I didn't see you yesterday, I hope all is well. So it just really shows that there's that communal living. And obviously, but it's not as chaotic as Lagos where you have to rush for bus and all of that. So I do really experience many of those hustle life and oh, you have to be sharp, so I don't steal everything like that. So I guess it was just like that. But like the importance of community was emphasized like growing up in that, like, so I guess that was it for me. And obviously, you people in Lagos had more TV stations and TV channels. We didn't have so much.
Wow.
we didn't have
Like
so
how
much.
many do you think you guys
We
had?
didn't
Like
have so much
can
going
you
on.
like count how many, or like just give like a rough estimate?
Then I think it was majorly like two or three. So we had NTA Ibadan, and we had BCOS, and we had Galaxy sometimes that was from Lagos, obviously.
Are you
And
serious?
we had
I watched Galaxy while growing up as well.
we had one Osun State TV like that, so that used to come sometimes when the antenna is very strong. So I guess it was just really like that. But when I got to Lagos, you had Silver, but you guys had MITV. You guys had every of the TVs. Like what? So so so
Hmm.
yeah. So
Wow.
I guess that was
Interesting.
like
Oh, great. Thank you so much. So I would like to ask, like, go deeper into what you do at Youth by Youth, supporting people. And, I obviously, Youth by Youth is not like the first community that you've managed, or it's not the first time you're doing like your community organizer work. And recently, you kind of like switched the role title from community manager to community organizer. So I really want to know why that switch, why is it not community manager? Because most times, when I see job adverts and everything, the first thing I see is we're looking for a community manager, not a community organizer. But looking at the work you do at Youth by Youth, I want to really know the switch behind it.
yeah, actually, I guess all my life before Youth by Youth, I've been doing community management. So I mean, we go into communities, we manage projects, I manage volunteers, employees and all of that. So, like you said, like this is not my first time managing a community. So before I used to do 21st Century Teachers Program, we reached a community of over 1,000 teachers. There was a time I was building a community of student entrepreneurs, and I was training them. So like I've actually always had like communities and facilitated in communities. I raised community spaces. But I realized that there was something that was really affecting the communities I was building. These communities could not exist without me. So it meant that the community was not sustainable. So it
Wow.
meant that I and the team, we had to constantly bring in new programs that would engage people. It was only when we had like conversations in the group or in our spaces that people spoke up and everything like that. And I didn't just like that outcome. So I was like, I guess so. And I searched deeply and I read, did a little bit of research, asked further questions from the members. And I realized that it was because I was managing the community.
Wow.
I was managing the community. So for example, if you go to a hotel currently or something like that, and something is bad in the room, the first person you call is the manager. Where is the manager of this place?
Exactly. I
And
know, right?
obviously and it's not the manager that cleans the room, it's the cleaner, it's
Yeah.
the person who is in charge. facility manager and all of that. So the first thing you call is the manager. Basically, everything happens, like the manager takes care of everything, takes responsibility of everything. Even if it's the receptionist and all of those people that have decided not to do that decide not to do their job, you still call the manager. So it means that if you are managing, the onus is on you. I am micromanaging people. People cannot be the best of themselves. So I said, okay, I guess it's because I'm using manager. Maybe that's why everything is on me. Maybe I should change it to organizer, because I see that now when I'm organizing, it means that I believe that people can actually do these things on their own. And I'm just
True.
creating that environment and for them to grow. So that's why I changed it to the global community organizer. So okay, I know that I have amazing people who, in their own rights, they have their own organizations, they have their own ideas. They are great people. Like they obviously know better than I do. So what I'm just supposed to do is just create a space for them to go try anything they think they want to do, any idea they think they want to do, they can do it. So I don't need to manage, they don't need approval from me. That's why I don't do approvals or I'm thinking of these things. Like, I mean, it's not it's what you want to do. Just let me know how I can support you. So I guess it was just that consciousness of building communities from before and managing them. So now say, okay, I'm not managing communities again. I want to organize.
You want to
And I think the results have been great. I mean, people are taking their own ownership. So yeah.
Nice. When you talked about realizing that it was not sustainable, I also noticed that with some of the organizations that I've actually worked in. So we are always like depending on, getting approval before we move. So it's more like the system or how the organization is being structured. We don't launch out our own ideas, or we don't even launch out any programs without maybe coming from the head or without coming from the directors. And then most times, if venture, they don't actually believe in young people to actually do the work, and it's kind of like different for youth by youth, where you are being given a task or you are taking charge of your learning journey, which is something that we did in the Global Action Circles program, which I want you to like share a bit more life about it, allowing young people to take charge of their own learning process and journey, and then allowing them to believe so much in themselves. So some of the key things that I know that you did with Youth by Youth is also like designing the Global Action Circle. And if you are just listening, this whole podcasting, I followed my passions. I've always wanted to do podcasts, but I didn't know how. So I just kept on feeding my passion. The more you feed your passion, the more you tend to execute and launch your project. So I was participating, or I served as one of the hosts in the Global Action Circle that my guest here, Erioluwa, designed. So I really want to know the idea behind it, because if it wasn't my learning question, then I don't think would be having this conversation now. So I want to know the idea behind it all, and why you launched the Global Action Circles program, and the tremendous growth that you've noticed, some of the insights that you've actually learned from that journey.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I participated as a host for a program at Youth by Youth. So at the beginning, so there was a festival. So it was just like a one-off thing, kind of that Z and Val are the co-founders of Youth by Youth, by the way, for those who are just listening. So Youth by Youth is a movement of young people and adult allies, radically transforming and reimagining the future of education for collective liberation. So we did the entire festival in January, and that was just all. But the founders were kind of thinking of, oh, what next? How best can we engage young people, and entire consultations. I was just really interested in what they were doing, because I'd not seen such space anywhere before. So they asked me that what ways can we use to engage young people, and what kind of program would we do. And I told them that I'll get back to them. So I started thinking about ways in which we can actually like come up with these ideas. And because I'm a spiritual person, I strongly believe my faith. So I prayed about it, and I prayed about it, and I kind of had like this whole eureka moment. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't know about other people, but sometimes most of the examples and most of the things I reproduce in the workspace are things that I've seen in church. So I realized that we have like a big church, sorry for like, let's say a large gathering, and after church service, you see people now break out into groups, for meetings. You see people do good women, businessmen, this one, that one, and teenagers, this one. And then everybody during the church, like they are one. But like afterwards, everybody breaks out into circles. Then they start seeing them rearranging the chairs, forming small,
Yeah.
small circles, having
Yes. Yes.
meetings and all
Yes.
of that. So exactly. So people are talking about, the things they want to do. So it just really gave me an idea. I'm like, okay, how about we have something like that for education, such that people come together in circles to talk about the things they genuinely care about, because that's
Wow.
how we do in church. So people care about women empowerment. They are
Hmm.
meeting after Sunday service. Young people who want to play football with another church parish, they're already meeting in circles.
Yeah.
People who want to sing special number next week Sunday, they're already doing that. Young men that want to be better husbands, they're already meeting. Women who are pregnant, so we had like things like that. So I was like, how about we have something like that for like education people? So if I'm interested in curriculum development, can I sit with other people around the world who are also interested in curriculum development? If I'm interested in ed tech and intercultural communications, can I sit with people like that? If I'm interested in climate change, climate action, sustainability, can I sit with people like that? And gender and all of that. So I just really thought about that. And I mean, like, and we designed it, I shared with the team, and it was a collective effort basically. So the idea started from me, but we were able to like design together as a team, to see the implementation. And so far it has been great. We had 35 showcases, meaning many like people actually came out of this project with 35 different ideas and projects
Amazing.
of what they would like. So yeah, actually it's surprising as to the kind of impact that it could make. And from what we've seen itself from the impact of the Global Action Circle, some institutions like some traditional schools are already adopting this solution. Some universities are also adopting this solution because it works. It's a 5 months learning journey. For you to really build something. You're starting from nothing and you're coming out with something because really it's an action circle. So you're taking actions. So and it's a circle. So meaning that you have people that you can always run to and always check back on. So it's more like taking focused groups and community of practice, but
Hmm.
with more intention. So yeah, because I know that in education we have an in the development space, we have community of practice. But
Wow.
then this is taking the community of practice to like a higher extent. And so instead of community of practice, can we have action circles that are actually bringing out actions? Because community of practice, we just talk, share ideas, feel
Yes.
good, and
And close it.
and
Yeah,
close the
that's
zone.
true.
So I just wanted to design with the intentions of, oh, can we come out with like a new project? So I guess that's the whole thing about the global action circle.
Global community organizer. That's the name I'll be calling you. So, in terms of supporting people, I'm so sure that you've noticed like a whole lot of errors. You've noticed things that people were not really doing well, that you really want to like, let me just tweak this a little. So, what are some of those like things that you've noticed that this is actually not nice, that you really want to change in people, not just, giving them like, because, the system that you've said was not all about being rigid, but allowing people to be flexible and then owning their own space and then launching. So, what do you think were some of those errors you noticed that you wanted to tweak and correct?
Yeah, not necessarily errors or change people, because the truth is I can't really change people.
That's true.
I think that's what I've realized. Like so far, you can't necessarily change people. You can only support them to be the versions of themselves they want to become. So the few things I've realized is that people know what to do.
Wow.
They're just scared to do
Is the people know what to do,
it.
but they are
So
scared to do it. Amazing.
like this is I've supported plenty people like from like we've had I've met people from various countries. I think from virtually all the continents. I've met at least one person from every continent, and from like at least 70 countries. And I've spoken with these young people. And I've seen that they know what to do. They're just really scared to do it. So and I think if you want to support people, just tell them to try. Just tell them to try, and and make them feel like it's a learning journey. I've done projects that I thought I was going to do for like years, and I only did them for a year because I realized that okay, there's a new problem to solve. Let me leave this. There's something else I want to do. Let me leave this. Sometimes it's just okay to leave something and come back to it when you have better capacity to do it. So I think those are just the things. People stress themselves a lot, and over things they have little or no control about. That's the thing also for young people. Like we stress ourselves a lot over things we have no control about, something you cannot change. You're
Yeah.
worrying about it. You focus on the things that you can change. So I think those are like the few errors. So instead of focusing on the things that are out of your control, how
Hmm.
about focus on things that are within your control? So what are the things that you can do? Also play to your strengths. Like don't like I see other community organizers. I don't want to call them managers, but managers always try to tell people to do the things. Push yourself. When develop. No. I think that I think what has really helped me so far in supporting people is I play to people's strengths, and I also find support for their weaknesses. So, for example, if I know that you are great at talking, and maybe you don't like to design presentations, but
Mm.
you can deliver presentations. What I'll do is that I'll give you more time to practice these presentations, and I'll actually find someone that can support you or find a tool that can support you with designing the presentations. So instead of wasting your time designing, you're spending more time practicing that presentation, then you can deliver it well. So I think it's just about allowing people to focus more on their strength and actually finding support for their weaknesses or for the things they're naturally not good at. So I think that's like the best way to build like any serious organization. So any organization I would try. So identify people's strengths and actually support them with their weaknesses.
Hmm.
So that's just don't spend time trying to make them develop their weakness.
Hmm.
Just find support for them. They will begin to grow into
Wow.
whatever they want to. So yeah. So I think that's just and I think the final one is ability to spot potentials. I think that's like the if you check my job description has really changed over time in this by youth. My like the three main things I'm doing right now, because now that the team has grown, like we have people like successful have joined like our team and Tomiwa and all of the other
I
people
know,
who have joined that.
right?
It's the fact that um I'm like I said, like my job description is just three things now: engagement, recruitment, and sporting potential.
Hmm.
So
Engagement,
if I
recruitment, and sporting potential.
yeah,
These days.
so it's like, oh, I engage people. That's the first thing.
Yes.
I engage you, and I think I'm learning to spot potentials really now. I think it comes with time.
Yes, yes. It comes with time, and
So
because you are, building yourself in that particular field. So, and then you've worked with a lot of people, and you've seen how somebody moved from point A to point B. So, it definitely is going to come natural for you.
I know. So I spot potentials, and I feel like, oh, I think this person can be great at this. So because they are already doing it locally,
Hmm.
so how about we just support them and connect them with like a global network, because our focus is local impact. So can you work locally and also connect your impact globally and connect with other people? So I think that's just so the community organizers or people who want to design communities for young people should be able to spot potentials. They should be able to play to the strengths of people in the community. Don't make people dwell so much on their on their weakness. It weakens them and it motivates them. Play to their strength, find support for their weaknesses, and you'll see the change. Yeah.
Amazing. Like you said, like a whole lot. You said like a whole lot. I'm even trying to like track from growing up and how you understood what it means to support people, and then moving to Lagos, seeing your work with different communities, working with young people, and now designing programs for global organizations like Youth by Youth. But something interesting happened recently when you graduated from the university. So your tweet kind of like blowed up on social media.
So I was a star boy for a while. I mean,
So I really want to talk about that because to me, we both studied the same course. Erioluwa and I studied education chemistry. I did that in uni then. And then he did mine. Uniben means University of Benin, actually, in Nigeria. Then he did this in Unilag. And then there were so many things that you said in your tweet that really got me amused, even though I had known you for a while. And then you say, I want to thank God. There was a way you put it. Four fellowship programs, something. And then a lot of people were commenting and retweeting, and then you also got a future too in one magazine. So I really want to know, how did that affect you as the star boy of that time?
I mean, like I wasn't expecting it. So like I studied chemistry and education in school. And for many people who understand the Nigerian education system, you would know that studying education in a tertiary university is really undervalued. You know?
True.
So I'd always known that. So and I knew in my mind that I was going to make a difference. I didn't just know how. At the beginning, I didn't just know how I was going to make a difference. So I thought making a difference was going to be, I don't know. I just knew I was going to make a difference. So then I started doing it. I started like pushing, building my capacity, connecting more young people, supporting more young people. I started going for fellowships abroad. I started getting scholarships, grants and all of that. So I did few capacity building programs for like people in my department and all of that. But I realized that there were thousands of young people across Nigeria who were studying education courses and had already lost motivation for it.
Wow.
Some of them have even dropped because they didn't see any form of good in it. So I told myself that when I graduate, I was just going to share a little bit of my journey to people to say it's possible. Actually, I forget. I mean, I've gotten derogatory comments from people, and they're like, "Oh, what? So why are you studying in school? What did you study?" I said education. They're like, "No, you don't sound like someone that did education in school."
Me
Very
too.
derogatory.
Like,
And exactly. I mean, it's very insulting, but I think it's a compliment because how do you expect education people to sound? That in your mind, you have an idea of what an education person should be like. So I realized that there was two things. Number one, many people who had studied education, because some of them reached out to me. There were so many people that I looked up to, and they were really like mentors for me, like in my entire learning journey. Who I knew achieved a lot of things, but because they didn't put them online and because they didn't share their stories, people could not find them. So me sharing my story, and I started getting all of this reaction, and people were retweeting. I mean, I had over 100,000 impressions,
Wow.
and all of that. So yeah, actually, like just on one platform, like that was on Twitter. On LinkedIn, I had about 50,000. So so people were really surprised. Number one, and it's actually fun just because I shared a little part of the story. Now, I think that people who are doing amazing things in education should actually share their stories
on social media.
So that people would see. I got messages from people. I got one that was really humbling. Someone said they saw it, that all they're currently in final year, and they've been thinking that what would they do with their degree? Because they don't know any. So they're like, oh, with this, that, so they can push. I'm like, yes. So I can apply for scholarship. I'm like, yes, you can apply for scholarships. You can apply for internships. You are a student, so just use that. You're an undergraduate. You have the skills that these people don't have. Like, the beautiful thing about education is that it is interdisciplinary. So I did courses from like a lot of departments and faculties. I did psychology, I did sociology, I did entrepreneurship, I did history, I did a lot. So it gave me like a little bit of idea about what other things look like that many other disciplines don't have. So why can't I apply to an organization that I'm interested in if I can play to my strength? Like I said, just play to your strength. Don't stress yourself. Play to your strength.
Don't stress yourself.
Don't stress yourself. Like don't try to tell them what you're not. Yes, you're not a law student, you're not an engineering student, you're not. Just forget about that. What are you? And do they need you? Just let them know how they need you. And you just keep pushing. At the beginning, it might be challenging. I mean, it's difficult. I can show you emails of that are sent and I didn't get any response. But then you at least you get one. And the truth is
Yes.
that the moment you get, it's easy for you to now use that one to get others. So I guess it's just you like that. Just try. Just try. Like you're studying education and so.
And so, exactly. And so, I feel like the same thing that you said is also the same for me while I was still at the University of Benin. So I used to get comments like, oh, I thought you were actually studying pharmacy. Oh, I thought you were in medicine and surgery. Oh, I thought you were studying something relating to engineering because of the kind of effort I put in, like in my studies. And then I realized that because education students get this impression that you can't use your degree for anything, they don't want to actually put so much effort in their degree because they feel like it's actually going to be useless. So I was so excited when your tweet blew up because I mean I know the person that the tweet got blew up, which is actually a good thing number one. And the
But
impact.
another thing I want to add is that like you only get the output you get out of anything is the quality of input you put into it. So if you put
Wow,
so much energy into your academics, you get good grades.
true.
You know, if you put so much energy into making the best out of what you have currently, you get the best out of it.
Hmm, that's true.
That's just the thing. And I think that's the problem with people, many people who are so much energy because they're like, will this thing be beneficial or not? But no, not at all. Like put the energy into it, like put the work into it, like do it like as if your life depends on it. One of the things I did at the beginning, because I was doing chemistry and education. So yeah, many people just say they are studying chemistry, they forget the education. I stopped doing that. I just kept saying I was doing education. Like I'm studying education. Don't ask me about my major or my minor. That's what I'm doing. So that way, because I kept saying that I was studying education, I started seeing opportunities more in education.
Hmm.
So because it's what you focus on that your mind that you attract. Obviously, people were saying that they were studying chemistry, but I mean, there are opportunities in chemistry, but I think from experience, I think there are more opportunities in education than in any other field because
True.
many people actually finish. I know many people who are dominating the education space and they studied law, they studied engineering, they studied sciences. And it's actually very funny to see that these people actually left their prestigious professions to come into education. You know, even the entire chemistry self, I mean, how many industries do we have? You know, people and it's actually very funny. At the end of the day, many of them find themselves around education kind of thing. So I think it's just about putting so what if you want excellence out of your degree, put in excellence.
Hmm.
If you want excellence out of any profession, put in excellence. Like don't think that the excellence will come and meet you because these people that you think that you admire, the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, the only difference is that they are putting so much energy into what they are doing. If engineers stop putting energy into studying engineering and making the best out of it, they will become useless too. So
True.
I guess it's just putting the energy. It's because of the hours doctors put in medical school. That's why people respect them.
Yes.
That's just put in the same hours too. Put in the same, study hard, do your own research, write research papers too, publish articles too, talk about what you are doing.
Hmm.
God will open for you
Hmm.
because that's what other people are doing too. So just apply these principles, don't fail. They always work.
Wow, that's really
Get
true.
an internship so that you don't have to look for plenty jobs or have no experience. These people go for internships. So you self apply for internships during break
And
or
go
do virtual
for.
internships, do
Yeah,
remote
there are
internships.
lots. There are lots. There are a lot now. That's
Exactly.
true. Hmm. So many insights. I really love how this thing that you just said is more about mindset. I also did the same thing. I think that was just like 100 level. That's year one. So for those in Nigeria, we call it 100 level. So if you're listening, I know some people call it year one or first year or something like that. So my first year, I was always doing like I'm studying chemistry because I never knew they were going to give me education chemistry. So I was hiding it. Even many people that heard that I was in school. So I was telling them I was in chemistry. But I think second semester, I just made up my mind and said, you know what? You see this education chemistry, I'm going to do my best and graduate well. So there was this thing of, bad grades, people not leaving the department with good grades. Like if you go to the university and you end up with, we have different grades: first class, second class upper, second class lower, and then for second class lower, there are so many that you don't have access to opportunities. But if you live with second class upper and first class, you get a lot of opportunities. So I just made up my mind that, you know what, I'm just going to try my best to fall in between those two categories. It was very difficult, but I did it in the ending. So, and I think it's the same thing for you. You also, and I think it's the same thing for you. You actually did it, and I think you graduated with a 2-1 from the University of Lagos. Also, merging your academics and other, social activities, like impact activities that you've done. What do you think were like some communities that you joined that changed your life? How did you get access to these opportunities? Because it's one thing for people to know about opportunities like this, and then there's another thing for them to know where to actually find them and how to position themselves rightly for those kind of opportunities. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, for me, it was two things that helped me. I met someone at the beginning of my journey, and I was asking him, how do you balance these things? And the person taught me something that I'll never forget, even till now, is that don't see it as two different things that you have to manage or balance. I think that's the challenge that many people face. They try to see it as, oh, it's like a seesaw or like a weighing scale that you have to put education here, other activities here, or career here, other
Wow.
activities at the other side. You have to wait. No, don't see it that way. Just see it as elements that have to make your life complete. So that way you are not competing one against the other. You're only making priority of what is important per time.
Wow.
So that was really what I learned at the beginning.
Yes.
So I wasn't saying, so it wasn't, so I did, so that way I didn't put myself in positions where I had to compromise. And I think that's the challenge with many young people. They always put themselves in positions where they have to compromise. Oh, do you for personal development or my academics? No, it could be personal development with my academics. So it's about
My academics. Nice.
exactly. So it's not really about it's not really about putting your don't you don't have to compromise. You don't have to say, oh, do I have to go to this conference or start a class? Oh, no, you don't have to get to that position in the first place. So it's about, okay, all of these things makes me. That's just the truth. My academics makes me something. My social activities makes me like. So you don't have to compare them against each other. To which one is all of them are important. So for example, at that point, you have exams. Read for your exams. After exams during break, engage in personal development activities.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go to school. You can go to classes Monday to Friday, and Saturday and Sunday you do community development work. So these things don't have to literally compete with one another. I think that's the challenge that people do. During the week, you can engage in maybe 1 hour or 2 hours virtual meetings.
Yeah.
So you necessarily don't need to get to a point where you now have to compete them against each other. I think that's just the challenge. People want to compromise so much and all of that. So and I think it's because of the communities I joined. So in school I joined ISEC. So an ISEC was really instrumental to me, like in my journey. So I joined ISEC. I was there. I learned more about networking. I was doing international. My first connection with ISEC was doing international relations. So it
Wow.
gave me an idea into what the global ecosystem is like. So now that I'm doing global community management and I'm trying to connect young people globally and everything, it's like there's a track record, right? So and I joined ISEC in 2018. So this is 2020. So that's like 4 years
Oh,
of
yes.
actively working on myself and all of that. So I guess it's just like that. So I joined ISEC and I went for a fellowship at some point. I joined Yali. They helped me, they supported me. Then at some point I did I was an exchange student. I was a Dutch exchange student, so I worked on a program with some students who were from the Netherlands. We were also in their units there. So we were there for like 2 weeks, co-creating together. So I think it's just like making the best of these platforms. I joined ISEC. I did a lot of roles. I took up a lot of roles in ISEC, challenging roles that made me that made me a better person. Like we established earlier, you only get like what you get out of something is what you put into it.
What to
That's
do?
just the truth.
Put into it.
So
Nice.
so if you want excellence, put in excellence. If you want mediocrity, put
Put
in
with you.
mediocrity. Yeah, so
Really
that's just
nice, really nice. Also, there was,
yeah.
I really love how you've talked about it. So someone actually asked me this question, and I'm going to use the opportunity to answer it. So she asked me this question recently, and then she was like, how do you prioritize things in terms of, giving in your best? So me, I'm just telling her that I remember I told her that it just has to do with you putting in what matters at that point in time. So we get like a lot of people misplacing their priorities. You're in school to learn. And my this podcast and this show is to let you know that you can actually graduate well from school and get all the awards, all the things you want to do. You can travel, you can get all the experiences and still graduate exceedingly well. So it's just knowing that when it is time for you to read for your exams, you have to read for your exams. When it is time for you to do your community development, just make out time for it. You don't have to use all your week and every day just focusing on one thing and then something else is now suffering. So I think I really love the fact that you said it doesn't have to be personal development or academics. It can be personal development with your academics. So I really learned a lot from you, like so much in this conversation. Like it has been so inspiring, motivational, insightful, input and output. It depends on what you put in is what you are definitely going to get. But I'm going to really ask, almost getting to the end of this episode, and I really don't want it to end because I know that you have a lot going on. So my question is, what did you say?
Me too, actually. Like,
so
I'm having a great time.
so there was this so before you finished school, I know that you have like an advanced bachelor's degree, and so I want to know how did that help you in a way, or would you categorize any experience as what shaped who you are as a person or as an individual? So I really want to know how that really happened because I've read some of your articles and I've read some of the things that they have used in introducing you in some spaces that I've attended where you were invited as a speaker. And then you're like, oh, he has an advanced bachelor's degree in so university. So I really want to know how did that shape who you are as a person, really?
So, what I am right now is a collaboration of plenty things. I like to see myself as a servant, actually. I like to see
The
myself
word
as a servant.
collaboration, when I was actually preparing for this session, I was like, Erioluwa is more of a collaborator. So there was a question I wanted to ask about collaboration, but I was like, there is no how I'm going to ask you about collaboration without you even saying it as well. So I was like, don't worry about it. Everyone is going to answer about collaboration and everything you need to know
Actually,
is
it's the
going
truth. I
to.
mean, so no lies detected, actually. I mean, like, all my life, I've never done things alone. I like to collaborate. I mean, like, I'm working on a project right now that I think you also are interested in. I mean, I've been collaborating. I've been sharing the proposals with people. I've always, all my life, I've always had a co-founder, a co-team lead, something like that to just really do something together. So basically, like, the summary of my life is a collaboration of many things. Like I said, I like to see myself as a salad. Salad is not just it's not just cabbage. You have other things that makes it sweet. So yeah, I had an advanced bachelor's at some point. There was a time like that that I got like an award, and the reward for the prize for the award was like I'm going to like a summer school to take an advanced bachelor degree in managing business abroad. So how has that shaped me? I learned a lot of things. I learned global strategy. I learned business. I learned SWOT analysis. I learned finance. I learned interesting things. And the like it was really practical, like simulation exercise. I remember my major simulation for like my training was managing a phone company in China that was trying to expand to all the continents like in the world. So how has that helped me? That's like the major question that you asked me. It has really helped me right now. Now that I'm working like in development space and I'm doing like connecting young people across the world, to people like them. What I'm just doing is still basically managing people abroad, not just businesses now. Managing people abroad.
Exactly. I don't know
But
why
not like just
you're not actually even saying, you're not even influencing the fact that the people that you're managing are not just people in Nigeria. Okay, because you don't want to use the word managing. So Erioluwa, yeah, I don't know, he likes to mellow down things. So he organizes like a lot of people, manages like a lot of people. So Youth by You, we have activists from over 80 countries. So that's his job. So I'm going to help you blow your trumpet. Maybe I'm not going to blow your trumpet here. So that's what we actually
Yeah,
said.
actually.
And it has been like an amazing journey, really, really, really listening to you. I'm so inspired. I really can't, even like fathom like so how you've put in the work and seeing everything, just blossom and everything. Yeah, I'm going to ask you about, talking about your latest project. But first, I would like that to end this episode. But in all these amazing experiences, from growing up to being a collaborator, supporting people, you would actually have like some moments that were very discouraging, like your downtimes and
Yes, so
failures. So there is no before people will now think that you are just climbing and climbing and climbing, and then there was no failures, even to getting your teeth blowing up, even to still graduating with a 2-1 and telling other people that you know what, you can be anything you want to be as far as you set your mind to it. And of course, with God's grace, of course, and actively sharing your belief in God and the faith you have in Him. So I really want to know, share with us, even if you cannot share with us like everything, that one moment, that failure that really shaped you. Nigeria will say, it paid me. I almost cried. So I want to, I want to,
actually, I
I
think
want to know that
my
one.
own wasn't almost cried. I think my own is I cried. So I didn't almost cry. I cried. You know, I just at that point I just got back from like an exchange program abroad, and they released the results of a course that two courses had. I did only two compulsories that semester,
Hmm.
and like the two major courses I took, like I was reading, I dedicated like full days to those like every week. So aside reading like every day, there were
Hmm.
days that
You
I didn't
dedicated
have any, and I did. So I did. So I worked really hard, and I felt like the results were going to come out successful, and only for the results to come out, and I failed the two courses,
wow.
and which I still really believe, because after revoting, still felt like an error, maybe in the calculation or something like that. But I failed it too, and I had to retake them.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote letters and I did everything, but it wasn't forthcoming like the change. It broke me. It
Hmm.
broke me because I. But then I realized something. It was the course that I failed. I wasn't the failure. So I think
What?
that's what. So, but it was painful. It was painful. What they failed was the course, not me. So I
Yeah.
wasn't. They didn't fail me. It was the course that they failed. So it broke me because I told
Distancing
myself that I
yourself
wasn't
from
going
the
to do
failure.
anything. Exactly. And the truth is that, and I think that's the problem. That's why I see that when someone failed in school, it's easy for them to keep failing again
Because
because they already see themselves as failures.
failures, yeah.
So exactly. So I had to first fight the mindset of, oh, I just failed the course. I'll write it again. You know, I need to do better in this one. And I did better. Like I just kept moving on, and my grades kept improving and all of that. So I didn't allow it keep me on the ground as intended. So even though there were comments, there were things that were really encouraging at that time, but I kept pushing. So I think that part it really broke me. I didn't want to do anything as regards personal development, anything. I was just like everybody
I
should
did
get
it.
lost out of
Everybody
it.
just get out. I
I think one
mean,
of those days that I was really sad, I took a video of myself
oh
to remind
wow.
myself of. Yeah, I had
Do
a
you
video.
still
I
have
think it's in
it?
my. It should be somewhere in my drive, but I don't really want to see because it's embarrassing. I was really crying. I was telling myself, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I am done. But I mean, yeah, I am actually standing. It's
Hmm.
been that happened in 2019, and it was really a defining moment for me
Hmm.
because 2019 was the same year that I started like emerging. You
Yeah.
know, 2019 was my year of emergence. So me failing that time too was just me learning about so
Then,
many things. So yeah, I think that's like being my major. And I learned so many things. I learned how to build from scratch. I learned what failing felt like. So and
wow.
how to actually start again. So yeah. Even though before that time I've had little projects, but because it's a collaborative effort, something. So I don't always feel the pain like that. But
Hmm,
right now, this is something that I have to do on my own and do again. So
true.
hence that, and yeah. So but I'm fine now. I mean, like I'm graduated already. So
So if you
so
were
yeah.
to tell yourself like one word, tell yourself and tell other people listening to this or probably watching, what do you think? What do you think you would say about that whole experience? Because failure is something that you know is part of us. No matter what you do, you must have an experience that ah, it will pain you. You just be like, what just happened? After putting all your efforts, you know how we plan. Human beings are fond of planning. Like even for me, I've already planned my full 2022 already. But I'm sure unexpected events will still happen. But then again, what would you tell yourself looking back now? And I love the fact that you said it really shaped you and you detached yourself from the failure. So, want to know.
Yeah. I think it's two things. You're not your failures. I mean, I'm not your failures. That's the first thing. Even in terms of applications, because as a young person who's trying to, you apply for so many things. What they reject is your application. They didn't reject
I
you.
really reject you.
So I think it's like that. So and also number two is try. It's true. It's very important. When you fail or when you fail at something, you didn't fail yourself. When
Yeah,
you fail at something, try it again. Just try it again.
try it again. Wow,
If
try
you
it
believe in
again.
it, just try.
You've,
That's just
give,
the thing.
you've
Progress
given
is
us a lot
progress.
of nuggets. You've given us a lot of things. Like, I feel blessed already. Like, honestly speaking, I feel blessed. And it's more like as if I attended a session and then someone is just sharing powerful insights about their life. Like, honestly speaking, having this conversation let me understand you better. I know we've had like so many conversations because we're working together currently, and then we are involved in like in so many projects and everything. But it really lets me see you in a different lens and just understanding it for myself. And you saying try again, I love it. I'm going to try a lot of things that I think I feel that before. So now let's go to what you are currently working on. Like, let us spill all the things, everything, spill it all. Let us know
Okay.
what you're currently working on. Because the funniest thing is that someone sent me your proposal. I was on my own. Someone sent me his proposal, and it was so amazing to see how far your project has gone. So let us know what you're currently working on, and if you want young people to join you as well.
All right. So I'm still primarily interested and I'm still very focused on the work I do at Youth by Youth. I just want to make that clear, because that's my primary thing. I'm really so in the global. Yeah, I'm actually still
Point
interested in connecting
taking,
people to the-
point
exactly.
taking, we've taken
But
that already.
but then I realized that, so this is my second year at Youth by Youth, and
Hmm, that's true.
unofficially, like well, officially like a year. So but then I realized that the things I used to do before for like the local community here,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it anymore. So I mean, if you knew me in 2020, early 2020s, you would know that I introduced the first hands-on training for early childhood teachers in Nigeria. So I used to engage teachers. We grew from there. Built a community of teachers that had over 1,000 people. So then I stopped at some point, gave it to some. So we kind of sold, not like sold, but we kind of gave the idea and everything, like the community, and onboarded it into a tech community that was trying to build an ed tech product there. So I paused and I went to do that. I went on to do other things. Then Youth by Youth came. Then I've been doing Youth by Youth since then. So I've just really been thinking as to how to engage teachers more and how to build the capacity of teachers with the data and surveys that we took when we were managing the community 2 years ago. And now I have better capacity. I understand project management more. understand program design more. So I just felt like, oh, how about I call some of my friends like here right now, and we actually design like a fellowship for teachers. So I realized that many interventions go to children who are not in school and public schools,
Mm.
but then there's little or no attention paid to low-income private schools. Private schools that are like public schools, kind of, that they don't have the capacity of the teachers are not built. There are no enough facilities, nothing. So many private schools don't even have like laboratories to learn. They don't have facilities. They don't have all of those things. They don't have libraries and all of that. So it's just like, let's say, low cost education that comes at a cost at the end of the day. So so it was just me thinking of, oh, how can I design a program that would have at least 20 teachers, for a 6 month fellowship where we would train them. They will be their capacity. They work on various projects, that affect them in their community. So for maybe in your school, you don't have a library and you want to build a library. Maybe we can support you to build a library in your school. Maybe in your school, you need to start like a robotics club because you think that, oh, your children are or your students are engineering oriented or STEM oriented, then we can start that. So basically just these teachers, doing projects in these low income private schools, to ensure that it becomes like re-energize and restructure the things that are lost in education. So I'm working on that. It's Kawe Fellowship. Like you can check our website. I'm very sure by the time this episode is out, the website will be done. We already have a domain already. So it's like kawefellowship.com. So we're trying to build that story for low income private school teachers. Because during the pandemic they were the most affected. They weren't getting salaries. So
Yeah.
public school they're getting salaries. Private school teachers that were in low income communities were not getting anything.
Salaries. Yeah.
So, yeah, so I guess it's just really part of like our post COVID interventions too. So yeah.
Oh my God. Amazing. I love how you just made your point clear. I want everybody to know that I'm still very much interested in Youth by Youth. We're not pursuing you now. But maybe not pursuing you, but thank you so much. That's been such a great privilege and honor listening to you. Thank you for, I could feel that you poured yourself out and, just sharing your story to inspire other young people. The main goal of this podcast is just to let you know that you can do it. You are enough. If young people like yourself are changing the world, why don't you take that step and also do the same thing for your own self and your life? So before I let you go, Erioluwa Adeyinka, give us your final word.
Yes, yeah. Uh, I think my final word. I've always said this for like I've been saying this for like years now, and I think it has stuck in my brain. Um, I see so many of us say that we want to become this, we want to become that. I want to. And I've always had this word that I think one time like that, I was learning design. I even made a design for it and I typed it, Erioluwa Adeyinka. So, but like, but like, thing is just very simple. It is in the process of doing that you become. So if you want to
Wow.
become, mm, I think, and I really hold on to that. If I want to become anything in life, I just have to. It is in the process of doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Trust me. You want to pivot, it is the process of doing what you are doing right now.
I
You
will
want to
do.
switch careers, it is the process of doing what you are doing right now. Anything you want to do, really, anything you want to become a president, you want to become a lawyer, you want to become a community organizer, you want to become a tech person. It is the process of doing. You can't cheat like just do, keep doing,
Keep
you'll
doing.
become it. The thing is that when you become it, you might not even know. That's the funny thing.
I mean, I
So
mean,
you just look back and so it's that. So I think that's because the only time you can connect the dots is when you look back. So
mm,
but you have to do to connect the dots. So I think it's just like that for me. Like so if I mean I wanted to really support people and I realized that the best way to support people was just to keep supporting people.
true.
So So I learn every time. I'm still learning. I'm still very like on learning and redesigning things. But you just have to do. And
Hmm.
I call myself a global community organizer today because I have done something.
Yeah, in that
That is why
aspect.
so I mean, like increasing the awareness and participation of young people from like 30 countries to 80 countries is not a joke. So
Yes.
it's just it's just more about keep doing, and keep co-leading, collaborating, co-creating with other young people.
Collaborating. Yeah.
You are so you go far. That's the truth. You go far. You will just really go far if you collaborate. Look for the best set of people and collaborate with them that share the same vision. They must be passionate about what you are doing. Allow them go. Forget whether they are. I think that's one thing too. We try to look for people who are skilled and super experts. If you are starting, just look for people who are committed and are willing to learn. Support them to learn those things, and they can use you to learn. I mean, it's a learning curve for everyone. You've not done it before, so why not just learn?
I
So
mean,
yeah, so I guess that's just it.
oh wow. Is that your final one? That's everything you have to say.
Yes, yes, it's in the process of doing that you become. That's my final words. In the process
Amazing.
of doing
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
that.
Like, I've had like a lot, I had a great time this morning, and I love how the conversation really progressed. I really learned a lot. And if you listen till the end, yeah, the real deal. Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with us. To everyone that's listening to this podcast, do well to keep on supporting the ministry. You can follow my amazing guest, Erioluwa Adeyinka, on social media. I think he's on Twitter. Just check his name. His name everywhere. Erioluwa Adeyinka, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can send a connection request, and trust me, you are going to get a positive response because he's the type that used to respond to amazing messages. So just shoot your shot. If you want him to consult for you, for your businesses, for your NGOs or whatever that you're trying to do, just do well to do that. Yeah. So my final words, thank you so much, and try to do things so that you become, because like Aurora said, it's the process of doing that you become. And the more inputs you put into your work, that's the level of output that you're going to get. So if you're looking for excellence, put in excellence so that you can get excellence. And as students, don't look down on yourself. You can become whoever that you want to be. Don't try to play a very bad game. Prioritize your studies, go to school, graduate with good grades, because why not? If other people are graduating with good grades, why can't you do that as well? And of course, I remain your favorite and amazing host. Do they call it host? Do they call it?
I would like to add, if you listen to this point and you think you have a project or you have an idea or you are confused and you need me to do anything for you, I'll be giving like access like 5 people who can reach out to success. So if you're interested, if you need me on anything, if you personally need me on anything on any of the project, just
Personally,
speak with success. Just 5 people, please. I repeat, 5 people, please. I have primary assignment of people in youth by youth that I'm taking care of. I know that things. So just 5 people, please. If you feel like, oh, you need to speak with me, or you need me to help you with some opportunities, or you're applying for something, and you just really think that would be helpful, and you've listened to this so far, reach out to success. She would connect you to me, and we'll take it from there. Just 5 people. So yeah, because success is in as an she actually doing an amazing job, and I think it just makes a lot of sense to give this giveaways.
I love the
on,
giveaway
on
aspect, honestly. So if you are among those 5 people, do have to reach out to me. My contact details, how to get to me, will definitely be in the description box of wherever platform you actually find this podcast, YouTube, wherever this is going to be streamed, because we are currently recording and in the process of launching. So thank you so much once again for staying with us at this very time, listening to almost an hour, if not more than an hour, of this amazing guest, Erioluwa Adeyinka, sharing his story, ups and downs, challenges, and everything. Community organizing, education, helping people, is amazing fellowship. You can be more as well. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you in my next episode. obviously by the grace of God. And I remain your amazing host, Success Yule Ariveso. So take care. Bye. See you guys in the next.
Bye.
Bye.